For as long as there have been politicians, there have been liars. And we know the old joke, how do you know when a politician is lying? His lips are moving. But to flat out purposefully lie to the American people over and over and over again, not just on one topic, but almost every topic, day after day, in this day and age of instant access to truthful information and around-the-clock fact-checking on the internet. See, it's not the same when we needed Walter Cronkite to tell us one time a day what was true. You cannot get away with these lies because of the internet. You can't. Truthful information around the clock. To continue the same lies, even after they've been proven to be lies, well, that takes a special kind of, well, honestly, I don't care. It takes a special kind of furor to be able to do that. And to think that you can get away with it takes a special kind of arrogance. Sadly, that is exactly what we have in the White House, special kinds of liars. I take absolutely no pleasure in calling the President of the United States a liar. It is bad for me to call him a liar. It hurts credibility to call him a liar. But as I have said before, the reason why we won the Cold War is because Reagan was there and he spoke the name of evil. The Soviet Union is an evil empire. He said it, even though everybody said not to. Because it was true. I'm sorry to say, the President and the Vice President of the United States are liars. And we must speak evil, or we will never be able to fix the problems that we are in. Let me just show you a couple of the latest examples just from the debates. You might remember last week that during the debate with Paul Ryan, talking about Medicare and Social Security, the Vice President, Joe Biden, said this.
Look, I was there when we did that with Social Security in 1983. I was one of 8 people sitting in the room that included Tip O'Neill negotiating with President Reagan.
Okay, now he was talking about how great President Reagan was. First of all, Joe Biden never thought President Reagan was great. I mean, these guys hated him when he was in office. But he's specifically talking about how great Reagan is and how we need to get together. And he was, as he just said, in the room. Now, I should mention here that even as cynical as I have become about these progressive politicians, I took Biden at his word on that. And who would say that? I was there. Okay, well, you can dance around it. But then he followed it up with, I was in the room with about 8 people when we did this. Fortunately, ABC's Jake Tapper didn't take him at word. Jake looked into it and found out that, yes, Joe Biden was not in the room. He lied. He wasn't in the room working out that deal. He was not one of the key negotiators. Tapper called Biden on it, caught him in this bold-faced lie, and how did he respond? This is what the office said. In 1983, the then Senator Biden was one of many senators who weighed in on budget-related issues from the party leadership, including on Social Security reform. In particular, he was one of the group of members who met with Tip O'Neill while the speaker was negotiating with President Reagan on reform specifics. In those meetings, the vice president and other members gave their thoughts on the negotiations to the speaker and the Senate minority leader, Robert Byrd. Wait a minute. So that you were not one of 8 people in the room negotiating with Ronald Reagan. Then the president, who is either calling Mitt Romney a liar every day or having one of his surrogates call him a liar every day, lied repeatedly during the first 2 debates. In an extraordinary exchange with Mitt Romney on oil and gas leases, Mitt Romney said the president cut leases to all oil companies on federal land by 50% during his term.
The strategy you need on all of the above strategy, and that's what we're going to do in the next 4 years.
But that's not what you've done in the last 4 years. That's the problem. In the last 4 years, you cut permits and licenses on federal land and federal waters in half.
Not true, Governor Romney.
So how much did you cut them by?
Not true.
By how much did you cut them by then?
Governor, we have actually produced more oil.
No. How much did you cut licenses and permits on federal land and federal waters?
Governor Romney, here's what we did. There were a whole bunch of oil companies.
I had a question, and the question was, how much did you cut them by?
Even when he was asked by Romney to clarify the exact figure, just tell me what it is. If it's not 50%, what is it? What is it? What did you cut it by? Obama instead just kept lying. And the press remained silent. Candy Crowley did not come in and say, hey, by the way, he's right about that one. No. They just kept quiet because there would be no cheers from their colleagues behind them. This is why the press has an 8% approval rating. But Chris Wallace from Fox decided to look into it during the debate. Right after the debate was over, he chased down the facts, and here are the facts.
Romney was basically right that there was a major cut in permits onshore and offshore.
There it is. And it turns out, when he says he's basically right, it wasn't 50%, it was 48%. The president has said over and over again that Romney is proposing a $5 trillion tax cut. Romney has repeatedly denied this, even though his deputy campaign manager admitted that this figure was nowhere near accurate. Obama continues.
Well, okay, stipulated. It won't be near $5 trillion, but it's also not going to be the sum of $5 trillion.
Okay, so there it is. That's Stephanie Cutter. She's saying it's not, okay, all right, it's not $5 trillion. It won't be near $5 trillion. So after the admission from his own campaign, did Obama and his team stop making the $5 trillion tax cut claim? Well, yes, sort of, kind of. Almost. At the debate Tuesday, Obama actually took the $5 trillion and made it worse.
It costs about $5 trillion. Governor Romney then also wants to spend $2 trillion on additional military programs, even though the military is not asking for them. That's $7 trillion. He also wants to continue the Bush tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans. That's another $1 trillion. So that's $8 trillion.
So he's no longer saying it's $5 trillion. When Stephanie Cutter comes out and says, okay, it's not going to be anywhere close, we all thought that she was coming back to reality and the number was going down. No, he doubles down on it and says it's going to be $8 trillion. Unbelievable. Then Obama recently bragged about the success of the bank bailouts.
We stabilized the banking system, but we got back every dime we used to rescue the banks with interest.
Did we really? Because according to the Congressional Budget Office, we're losing $24 billion on that deal. The same day he said that, the CBO comes out and says we've lost $24 billion. That's a lot of dimes, Mr. President. Obama claimed at the first debate that Donald Trump was a small business.
But under Governor Romney's definition, there are a whole bunch of millionaires and billionaires who are small businesses. Donald Trump is a small business.
No, Mr. President. Donald Trump has upwards of 25,000 employees or more. His revenue and his other millionaires and billionaires receive, the revenues that he receives makes him ineligible for this. Another lie. The president told Univision that he inherited the scandalous, deadly, and disastrous Fast and Furious program.
First of all, I think it's important for us to understand that the Fast and Furious program was a field-initiated program begun under the previous administration. When Eric Holder found out about it, he discontinued it.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. This is an outrageous lie. According to ABC News, ABC reports, in actuality, the Fast and Furious program was started October 2009. October 2009. That's the year the president got in. Bush's last day ended in 2008. Instead, Obama claims Bush started it. Holder discovered it and stopped it. Instead of beginning the plan in 2009, what? What an outrageous lie. How the media is not all over this administration for this. How the media thinks this ends up well for them or for any American. You cannot allow somebody with this much power to out and out lie over and over in outrageous lies. This, look, we've always had spin. Oh, well, that's just spin. Well, that's a half truth. These are out and out dangerous lies. Can you imagine a similar situation with Bush blaming Bill Clinton for starting a program like this? A flat out lie. The media would have gone insane. They would be calling for impeachment. How we're not calling for impeachment is beyond me. We can go on and on and on with lies of this administration. There were the continual lies about Romney and Bain Capital, the pioneers in outsourcing, the firing people indiscriminately, costing lives, giving people cancer. All of it. All of their claims, every single one. Proven lies. Not by Glenn Beck, not by Fox News, but by ABC News, by the Washington Post. People who are on his side. And let me end this with another hugely important lie. In addition to all the campaign and debate lies, and quite honestly, nearly everything he says on the campaign trail about himself or Romney has been a lie, but in addition to all of that, this president has betrayed the sacred trust placed in him by the American people and has lied over and over again about the Benghazi tragedy. And this is so incredibly important. It may not be the sexiest story. It may not be the one that everybody is talking about. But what is happening over in the Middle East, especially the way it relates to Benghazi, is so critically important because the lies are covering what we're really doing over there. It is so critically important. Hear me, people of the left. Hear me, please. Hear me, Democrats. We are not divided on the war thing. We're not. We're not on opposite sides. You don't want another war. I don't want another war. You don't want American soldiers killed. I don't want American soldiers killed. I'm tired of the war too. What is happening, they are sucking us into a global war. There was a Predator drone flying over the embassy that night, beaming a live feed back to the United States. Are you really going to tell us that you didn't know that there was no protest? You didn't know exactly what this was? You had a drone. It's been verified with a live feed showing the firefight. You know exactly what was going on. Mr. President, in the Situation Room, I don't know if you've ever been there, but underneath your office is a room called the Situation Room where you can watch those live feeds. Somebody in your office was downstairs in the basement watching the feed. Somebody was there. Now, why they didn't brief you is beyond me. Some might say that they did, and you have been lying. And that someone is me. They said it was a protest gone wrong. You knew it was a lie. There was no protest. You said it was about a YouTube video. Unprecedented, coordinated attack. You knew that that was a lie. They said they didn't know about all the requests for extra help and security. We know that that is a lie. This is why Romney is going to win. Pat, I believe, and Stu, I believe I said really early on in this administration, their arrogance will destroy them. In the end, their arrogance will be their undoing. They will destroy themselves. That is exactly what is happening. The American people see it, and that's why the latest Gallup poll is 51-45 Romney, where 2 weeks ago we were told, give it up.